Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega here with my lovely co-host, with the co-most, Sarah Levine. Sarah, how are you today?
I'm as good as one can be.
Upstairs, I see. There's a window, There's lights. You've come out of your basement burrow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy for you. You've come out like the groundhog.
I'm living. Only 6 more weeks of quarantine.
We're joined today by a very special guest, Chanel Omari. I should have asked you how you say your last name. Now I feel like an idiot. How are you today, Chanel?
Good. You actually said it really well.
Woo! Yes, I love to see it.
Danny's got the first and the last name down packed.
Do people mispronounce Chanel? Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. Oh my God. Channel. Yeah.
Wow. People really are stupid.
My last name, they always butcher like Omari, Omari, Omar, Omarian. No one ever got my name right. No wonder why I never thought I mattered.
Dark.
So you're a Long Islander.
Yeah, I'm a Long Islander.
That's not your whole intro. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have stopped there. That was a weird.
Wait, no,
that was weird. But we are from the same town.
We are from the same town. We're from Great Neck. Me and Sarah are Great Neck sisters. Great Neck, Long Island.
Woo.
I was on a show called Princesses of Long Island. But Danny's right, and Sarah, I'm not just known for that. I also have a podcast called Chanel in the City, even though I'm not in the city right now. We're quarantining.
Oh, my God. Chanel in quarantine?
Oh, my God. I would, that's brilliant. Imagine. Would you watch that?
Yeah.
I got to make that more interesting.
Quarantined at your folks' house on Long Island? Is that the deal?
Oh, yeah, with my parents, which, I mean, I feel blessed. Don't get me wrong, because I'm in a better situation than most. But I am telling you, guys would feel better about your lives. You do not want to be in my situation. God bless my parents. I was raised with very strict parents. They still think I'm 15. So I can't even leave the house without like my Israeli father being like, you're going to get COVID and you're going to kill all of us. And then you're going to kill the whole Jewish community. I don't believe it. So yeah, that Jewish guilt stays with me like every second.
Okay, wait, Chanel, your family's Orthodox, right?
Yeah, modern Orthodox, yeah.
Okay, have you watched Unorthodox on Netflix?
Obsessed, and I feel like I'm her every second, and I'm about to pull up Britney Spears, yeah, and shave my head.
But your family is obviously not as restrictive as this community in Williamsburg, which is now in the news for having this like gigantic funeral.
Correct.
I know a lot of our listeners aren't a lot of people are just not super educated on the ins and outs of Judaism. And for me, watching like something like Unorthodox and then seeing this shit on the news, I'm like, I get upset because I don't want everyone to think that this is what all Jews are like.
News, though, you didn't say the full news, was that there was a huge funeral, right?
Yeah.
How many people was it? Hundreds of people?
Yeah.
It was an Orthodox Jewish funeral, and the cops broke it up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In Judaism, there's so many different spectrums, just like Christianity or Catholicism, like, you know, the extremes, the not extremes, the modern. I would say with Unorthodox, she was part of it's called a Hasidic community. They're the ultra Orthodox. That's like, you know, we're modern. We believe in still being in the same room as men, but we would just wear long skirts and cover ourselves modestly and maybe wear wigs, you know, whereas an ultra Hasidic house, you can't even turn on the radio. You can't watch TV. Like we were allowed to do that. But, you know, we had the pressures of just in general, Jewish communities have the pressures of serving God and always serving God, and being part of the secular world is like the devil and evil. And if we are, we have to feel guilty. You know, the whole guilt trip. But I think the difference is that she was more ultra Orthodox and they used religion. They used religion more for control. Whereas modern Orthodox, it's more like spirituality and tradition. And, you know, no one's going to put a gun to your head if you're not wearing a skirt. Although my parents are very strict on me. They raised us very strict.
Now, I have questions about the splitting of the genders, because I've seen that. I've walked through, where is that? South Williamsburg, I guess you would call that?
Yeah, Borough Park.
Yeah.
Borough Park. And you see, you know, the men and women signs, but that, you know, not for a bathroom. So what exactly is that? How does that work?
So it's more like unisex. I mean, you're saying the bathrooms, like why they don't have men and women?
No, I'm saying about the Orthodox Jews. They separate men and women. You're saying modern does not, but I don't even know what do the Orthodox
that's a good
Jews,
question.
how do they separate? Yeah.
Modern Orthodox, so they'll separate in terms of like when we're in temple. Modern Orthodox believes in separation of women and men when they're praying. However, if they're in a wedding, they'll be in the same room. It's a little complicated. There's a lot of laws. Whereas ultra Orthodox with in the show that Sarah referenced of unorthodox, they will always be separate at all times. All times. Even with sex, there's a sheet between them. They'll have to put a sheet between them even to separate.
I thought that was only on your wedding night.
Yeah, I thought the sheet was a temporary
always
thing.
The wedding night, on the Sabbath. It's more likely for them to have sex on the Sabbath because it's more of a mitzvah. Like, I was raised to go to religious school to know all these laws, but I also forgot them very quickly when I went into the secular world because I was like her. I was curious. I didn't like the strictness. That makes a lot of people rebel because there's too many
it's
laws.
A mitzvah to have sex on the Sabbath?
Yeah, it's a mitzvah.
It's a little party?
It's like a celebration.
A mitzvah is just a good deed. Yeah, it's not like a party.
Good deed?
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah.
I'm doing a good thing by having sex with my girlfriend on a Friday.
Yeah.
But you got to be married.
That's a great deal.
But you got to be married. So there's always a catch.
Right.
For me, it's hard to be part of a very ultra religious anything because there's always a catch, right? If you're spiritual, there's not always a catch. It's, be a good person, do a good deed, not on the same, you don't have to, have sex. Like, am I a bad person because I have sex without being married and not on the Sabbath? I don't know.
You're a bad person if you don't have sex with a sheet in between you and the man.
Right.
God damn it.
But I'll help the homeless, and that doesn't count, right?
That doesn't count for nothing. You got to follow the rules. Now listen. So you also were on reality TV.
Princesses of Long Island.
Wow. So you are a princess. We got a princess on the show today.
I'm honestly, really all the worst Jewish stereotypes, we're going to talk about him on this episode.
Yeah, totally. Sarah, you know me very well too. You know I'm not like a princess.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, I mean, the Princesses Long Island title is honestly a nod to like Jewish American princesses, which is like, Danny knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's trying to be coy.
I want more juice on it. What is a Jewish American? Because let me tell you something. It is a little stereotypy, and I wouldn't say it in front of like Jews I didn't really know. I wouldn't be like, look at these Japs. I wouldn't drop that because I'd be like, that's a little insensitive. But I would tell you that when I heard that phrase as a kid growing up, it was never said in a way that was like, I would say ugly. It was like prissy is my association. Yeah. But correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right. Sorry, Sarah, go on.
Oh, I was going to say, like, number one, I'm like, I didn't know there were Jewish people in Casa Grande, so big ups. Number two,
We had one.
One. Damn, and you thought the one was a Jap? Like, that's not even fair. You don't have a sample size to compare. However, okay, listen, there are way worse things to be called. Yeah, there are way worse things to be called. There are way worse, like, I don't know, stereotypes to like have levied against you.
Stereotype?
But yeah, it's like you're spoiled, you're wealthy, like entitled,
privileged.
Anything else?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like because I was originally born in Queens, raised in Brooklyn. Then we moved to Long Island when I was 12. So the first time I heard the term Jewish American princess was really Long Island. So I always associated it with Long Island, which I think why is even more insulting to us as the cast, but also as people on Long Island, that not every Jew is a Jewish American princess. And there's this like stereotype that all Jewish fathers think of their daughters as Jewish princesses from the biblical times where Sarah was like a princess. But it's not, now it's interpreted like Sarah said, where like the Jewish American princes are like the Japs, the cool girls, the popular girls, the ones that talk like this, that don't have any sense of depth or life.
The Vogel fry.
Yeah, and the mommies and daddies and the trust fund babies, and money's nothing but a thing, And for me, I always felt like my family had to try to keep up with the Joneses, which is actually ironic that I was part of this show because I was probably the most down to earth because I never felt like a princess. I never thought of myself as a princess. I always worked really hard for my shit, and my parents always, raised me like, we might live in a nice area, you might be privileged, but you got to earn everything, you got to work for everything. You're never going to be better than the next. So I think that was like the misconception, the stereotype. And so originally Bravo did not call the show Princesses. Originally, when we signed up as a cast, as friends, we signed up as the Real Girls of the Gold Coast, which is what Long Island's known for, the Gold Coast.
I've never heard it called that.
You've never heard the Great Gatsby? No way. Yes, you have.
The Gold Coast?
Yes.
No, I've never heard that.
Yeah, especially like Great Neck, because it's like the North Shore. It's part of like, all the legends like Larry King and to the Great Gatsby, a lot of like money and old money.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So it's just funny that I wouldn't have signed up for the show, I don't think, if I had known it was called Princesses of Long Island. Because I know that I'm not a princess, and I know that, but the metaphor of the whole show was also that no matter if you're a princess or you're rich or you're not, or you're from Long Island, we're all going to have ups and downs. We're all human. We're all going to go through trials and tribulations. It doesn't mean that like our lives are better than others because, we grew up in this beautiful kingdom. We had our own shit.
Totally.
Oh, that
Danny doesn't even know the title of the show.
Yeah, he's. I don't know if he'd be able to relate. He'd be like, "Why the hell am I watching these bitches bitch about?"
If the
nothing.
title of the show, if I was on my DirecTV and the title of the show just said, "Check out these Jews," I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, let's get it."
Sarah,
great show.
Did you think it was a little embellished, or do you feel like you know girls like this from Great Neck? I mean, I definitely know
absolutely.
Girls like this from
And
Great
the
Neck.
thing about like calling someone a Jap too is like, again, it's really not the worst thing to be called, but no one wants to be called it. And I found in my high school, there was like, everyone was kind of like trying to pass the buck on like who actually qualified as one. And I just remember this so clearly, like in math class, this one girl who was like in the popular group who we did call the Japs, but also we're Jewish, so we can say it. But I remember she made some kind of comment like, oh, well, like I'm not a Jap or something like that. And in my head, I was like, but if you're not, then like who is? Like it was just so crazy to me.
Yeah, and I also think it was like a negative narrative from like Long Island, from the popular kids, like what me and Sarah grew up with. And I'm sure, Danny, you grew up with these types of people, whether they're Jewish or not. It's like the popular crowd, whereas Jewish American princess is not necessarily a negative thing. It's like it was part of our Bible too.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And even Japs like came after, like Japanese take it offensively too, because they feel like,
well, that's a whole other thing.
That's like a whole other episode. But what I'm saying is people don't realize it's not a negative narrative unless you make it.
Well, I kind of honestly think that like even back then, like especially now, like no one wants to be accused of being entitled or privileged.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Even before like woke culture became a thing, you still didn't really want to be accused of that, which is why like nobody really wanted to be called a Jap.
Exactly.
No one wants to be told that you're entitled and like spoiled. Like those are not good traits to have.
No, and especially after princesses, that was like we got a lot of backlash for that. So for me, I was like, wait a minute, that's not who I am. That's not who I want to represent. That's not what my life was about. You know what I mean? I never want someone to think I was just entitled and given everything, because that's not the truth.
So. Right.
I'm very entitled. I was given a lot. Chanel, thank you so much for joining us. We got one heck of an ep for you guys today. Our second story of the day. AITA for not telling my fiancé about a secret room in our apartment. Wow, Sarah, we got a Jewish theme going on, huh?
Secret room?
Okay, the joke did not
I got
land.
that.
Moving on. Chanel got it, baby.
What is it?
Oh my God, Sarah. It's okay. The Germans in the 40s, they killed a lot of.
Oh my God.
Forget it. We'll tell you later. We'll tell you later. But first, AITA for telling my husband to grow a pair by you. Emergency drama 1. My husband and I have been together for 16 years, married for 11. He has always had a pretty low pain tolerance, though he won't admit it. Once he accidentally kneeled on one of our toddler's Hot Wheels cars, and it put him out of commission for the entire day, although nothing was broken or even bruised. I've become alarmed many times at his overreactive response to things like stubbing his toe or hitting his funny bone on something. He will literally moan and whine and shout out in pain over the most minor stuff. I always thought of it as a quirk of his, not too major to actually have a conversation about, until yesterday. I have what my doctors believe is Crohn's disease, and I've been in the thick of a nasty flare-up for the last few days. It's an inflammatory bowel disease and causes diarrhea, vomit, etc. I was trying to take a nap for some, and by the way, the etc. is bile. I was trying to take a nap for some relief and had just gotten to sleep when I hear an actual scream from downstairs. I jump out of bed and find my husband clutching his hand. I asked what happened, and he told me he pinched his finger in the baby gate.
Oh my God.
I looked at it and it wasn't even red. No broken skin. Wow. Okay, that's a weird ad there. And the skin wasn't even broken. I told him. He woke me up with his scream and probably also woke up our son. And he said he couldn't help it. It just hurt so bad. I said, you know what else hurts? Shitting my brains out all morning and not being able to take a nap because you're being so loud over a minor mishap. He got really offended and said I wouldn't like it if I pinched my finger either. And I said, no, I sure wouldn't. But I also wouldn't scream my head off. I didn't even do that when I was giving birth to a 9-pound baby unmedicated. He said, well, your body was made to do that. I'm not made to get my finger stuck in a baby gate. This is when I rolled my eyes, told him to grow a pair, and went back upstairs to try and rest. Yes, I said it out of anger, but my husband is acting like I emasculated him horribly and insulted him to his very core and is barely speaking to me. I'm not in any hurry to apologize, especially since he didn't, for waking me up when I'm dealing pretty silently with objectively more pain than he was. AITA.
Oh my God, I hate this guy.
Really?
What a baby.
Oh my God, Sarah, I'm shocked. I'm a little upset to hear you say that.
You're shocked?
I'm shocked.
Why is that?
I have huge issues with this lady. I mean, look, what he messed up. There's no question about it. He made a mistake. He injured himself like a moron. You know, I see a lot of myself in this man. And then he screamed. Now, when you scream, this is not how that goes. You know what I should do right now? I should scream. Well, you're not really in that much pain. All right, I'm going to scream anyway. No, you just scream because you got your finger pinched in a baby gate.
Fine, but listen, I've injured myself in many a mishap. Like, I'm pretty clumsy. Screaming is kind of involuntary, but if I knew I woke someone up, I would just apologize instead of doubling down and being like, my body wasn't meant to get pinched between it. It's like, honestly, it kind of is meant for that. Like, you get hurt, you'll learn not to do it again.
Wow. But his body is resilient. I mean, it's ridiculous what he said. Of course. Your body is not meant to pass a 9-pound baby. That's too big of a baby. Get it out early. It's safer. Don't you read the literature?
I get him because I've been in that situation where I've been in a lot of pain and people think I'm being a hypochondriac, but I'm not. And I can't explain it. I'm physically in the pain and no one wants to help. Or like my mom will be like, stop being a baby. I've given birth to 3 kids. And it's like, that doesn't mean your pain is any less painful. And then to top it off, to get your finger stuck, it's like really frustrating. Like, okay, I'm not solving the pain already. And now I'm in more pain. And I think he wanted her to be more sensitive. Like, I also am annoyed when everyone's like, well, like I pushed out babies. It's like, not everybody has to push out a baby either.
No.
I don't think it needs to become the pain Olympics, but like,
exactly.
But it also like,
let me come for her. You came for him, Sarah. I'm coming for her. She won't even admit that. First of all, pinching pain is nothing like pooping pain. Those are on the other side of the planet. You know what I mean? I mean, pooping pain is burning pain and it aches, but like when you pinch, that shit is so sharp and you just need it to stop.
I mean, it's also like, so what I'm imagining is like, it's so like short of an instance. Like, okay, one time I have these like heavy doors because I live in a pre-war building. I pinched my like thumb in the door as I was closing it. It was excruciating pain, but like you scream in the moment and it's a short truncated scream and then it's like over. Like if I was screaming bloody murder for like 30 seconds, then that's, you know, a little bit out of hand.
Well, people scream. I think screaming is largely involuntary. If this guy has a screaming issue, fair enough. But I think what my issue with her is
screaming issue.
There's no way that he screamed involuntarily because he was in so much pain. And it's like, that to me is the gaslighting manipulation of this. And you are right. I agree with you. He absolutely should have said, babe, I'm so sorry. I injured myself. And she should have said, I'm sorry for being angry. Obviously, you didn't mean to do this. It's just unfortunate. And that's what happened. An unfortunate thing happened. It's their reaction that's so toxic because they're going to make this a capital case.
His reaction was involuntary. Hers, she's crabby. She's been shitting her brains out. She's trying to take a nap. Like, anyone should, first of all, like, she should get a little bit of leeway. And also, my other thing is, though, I think that by her, she's kind of suspecting that he's exaggerating, which we don't know is true. But by her, like, immediately rushing to his aid and, like, dropping everything every time this happens, it's only just encouraging this behavior. Like,
encouraging the involuntary reaction where he screamed when he injured himself?
If she thinks that he is being dramatic, which is kind of the undertone of this whole thing, then, like, you know, just let him figure it out and see what happens from there.
But what if that happened to her? Like, let's be honest. She said, oh, I pushed babies and I didn't even flinch. Like, what if we don't know if she was under heavy drugs and that's why?
First of all, there's no way she didn't even flinch.
There's no way she didn't flinch. I love like super moms. Like, I had 3 kids and, 10 surgeries. This is nothing. It's like, bitch, you know that you are in pain or you screamed or you yelled that you hated your husband in the moment. And hey, maybe he's resenting her for a lot of accumulations. Like, this is no big deal. This is no big deal. Like, I know I've been in situations where I'm like, I can't deal with someone telling me that my shit doesn't matter or my pain doesn't matter as much.
Exactly.
Have you ever been in that situation?
That's so disrespectful.
Yeah. But I also get her situation where I'm trying to play Switzerland, where I agree with Sarah on this, where when you're hearing about someone else's pain and they're not doing anything about it, it's also annoying when you're enduring your own pain and you're not, you can't help yourself and you can't help that other person. But there's like a way to talk. There's a way to like come to a compromise. It seems like she's a little bit of a bully, no?
What I see here, and first of all, Sarah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, because at night, when this actually goes down, right, because this is in the middle of the night, do I blame her for being pissy after she's been shitting her brains out? Of course not. What I found alarming is that she's trying to profile this guy like he's got some kind of, he's insane.
Right.
That's what I see
that's
here.
What
she says, I've become alarmed many times at his overreactive response to things like stubbing his toe. So like the notion that you're dating someone who's so psychologically uncomplicated that they're going to put on a show every time they stub his toe. Like I've never met someone like that. I mean, that's a ridiculous personality. So like to me, that's her saying like what Chanel just said, which is like, your pain doesn't matter. Your pain doesn't count for me. And that's why I don't like that she says she won't apologize at the end.
I mean, I don't think, hopefully it won't be the thing that like, you know, breaks up their marriage, but I don't know. It's kind of hard because it's like, okay, the tone that I was getting was like, he'll stub his toe and scream in pain for like minutes at a time and not just do like
cartoon.
What?
That's a cartoon. Scream for minutes, Sarah.
Okay, let's
like, oh, I mean, that's a cartoon.
Okay.
It's literally a Family Guy bit.
Okay,
Family Guy bit where he's like, and he just clutches his knee for like 30 seconds.
Okay, but obviously if it's happening enough for her to take notice of it, like it is a little bit out of the norm.
Stubbing his toe, her example.
If his reaction was like completely in line with what we're all thinking a reaction, then like this wouldn't be a blip on the radar.
Stubbing your toe and hitting your funny bone are two excruciating examples. So she picked literally the worst examples. If she had said, accidentally touching a hot toaster, I'd be like, well, yeah, that's ridiculous.
And also, should he be silent? How much should he be silent about the pain? Should he not be dramatic? Like, I love when people are like dramatic or not dramatic. What is like? It's not like we're all actors. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I feel like this is like a weird thing to say about him. And it is true, by the way, and I know Sarah's going to get pissed at this, but science has said, I have read science, women have a higher pain tolerance than men.
No, I'm actually not mad about that because I say all the time that men have zero fortitude. So you may proceed.
Well, hold on.
Danny, maybe you can
hold on a second, Sarah.
Danny, maybe you can answer this. When men resent, like when she said he resented, like he might resent her. I feel like men resent more than women. Like you guys will hold things in and then like ghost us because you've had so many things you resented about us, but won't express it. Whereas women will express it and will get over it. We'll be more like forgiving.
I don't know if I'm ready to gender that one up. I do agree with you that it's a thing, though. We talk a lot on this pod about internalized unassertiveness. I don't know if these individuals are going to internalize this incident. But I mean, I think what they both need to say is sorry. They both owe each other an apology because what he did was fucking annoying. Yeah. Even if it was involuntary, it was still really annoying. And what she did was blow up at him, which is understandable, but also not ideal. You know, Enza M says, YTA, your husband is being the same man he's been for almost 20 years. What, does Enza know this person? Is it annoying?
It says they've been together for 16 years.
So they round it up. Is it annoying he overreacts? Yes, but this was no secret when you married him. You have a right to be annoyed, but not surprised. After all these years, you're going to be a dick about it. Also, you're shocked that a man who screams at the top of his lungs when he pinches his finger also cries when you hurt his feelings.
Oh, man. Enza, a true comedian.
Wait, did he cry? She's joking.
No, he's definitely being like pouty is the gist that I'm getting.
I will do a little bit of man-hating, Sarah. The notion that she emasculated him, that's on him. Okay, there was nothing emasculatory about what happened. It's you can get your feelings hurt, but the notion that she emasculated, I mean, what? How is that emasculating?
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be like me, manly man, me have high pain tolerance. Like, chill out.
Tamara O writes, NTA, he can be in pain all he wants, but inside voices. There is zero reason to literally scream so loud that it woke her up. None, zero. He's an adult, learn some impulse control.
I mean, I agree, Danny, with what you're saying that like, if you stub your toe and it really hurts, you probably aren't able to control it in the moment. What I'm stuck on is like, okay, like if I stub my toe and I'm like, fuck, or whatever, like someone doesn't always immediately rush to my aid. Like you can kind of judge like by the sounds that someone is making and the way that they're screaming like, shit, are you in imminent danger or did you just like have a little mishap?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and that shows that there's a lot of love there. I mean, that is like an instinctual maternal caring response that she jumped to care for them. And she deserves credit for that.
Yeah, but if this is a pattern where she's getting now resentful that she's like having to sort of jump to his aid, then maybe she needs to stop doing that so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard because I don't know when this is exactly, but everyone is so cranky right now because of the corona time. This reads crank to me.
Yeah, I wonder if it wasn't during corona, if she would be as annoyed.
Well, it's very recent. I mean,
yeah.
So I'm assuming they're in the thick of it with all of us. So
and you're diarrheaing your brains out.
Which is the worst.
Yeah.
Megan L. Everyone sucks here. You don't know what another person's pain tolerance is. I think that's a really good thing that, don't tell people they're wrong about the pain they're in. I mean,
there's a way to talk about it. Yeah, exactly. Like
there's a way to talk about it.
You don't know how much pain somebody's in or the reaction. Some people also, their chemicals in their brain, they react differently. Like Sarah, I feel like you're not dramatic, so you would probably not scream because you're just the type of person, like you're not gonna, like, it's face value with you. If something hurts, it hurts. If it's really painful, you'll go to the hospital. You're not going to drag people with you. For me, like, I feel like I've been called dramatic my whole life, but really I've suffered pain. So I'd have to like silence myself. So I guess I have compassion for him a little bit more. She like reminds me of my mom.
Wouldn't you also say that like if you pinched your finger in a baby gate and like you did feel such intense pain, like would you maybe not start to think like maybe I should see someone about it?
Yes, yeah, that I agree with that. In that sense,
like, about what?
Yeah,
if every single like thing that you feel on the pain scale is like constantly a 10, then like I don't know, maybe you need to talk to a doctor.
I think that's ridiculous. Again, going back to the examples she chose, stubbing your toe or hitting your funny bone, those are two things that are like known for being painful. I mean, this guy doesn't have an issue. He hurt his pinky on a baby gate.
Yeah, like I've done that where it's like hurt really badly. I mean, I think I've screamed, but like I also think there's times I've been like, but like I said, if also like you're in pain in the rest of your body, which I know that feels like, and then something else like getting your finger pinched, that could, he's probably breaking down. That's what it really is about. And she's just not understanding, And also,
but he's not understanding either. Like,
he's not understanding either too, though. That's why I'm playing Switzerland in this. I do agree that he's not understanding. Like, she probably had pain that she wasn't allowed to express in years. She's probably like, now you know how it feels, I
mean, I just feel like he fucked up and he should say sorry because he woke her up. She was shitting her brains out. But like, I just don't think this runs that deep. I feel like
it's not that deep, which makes me wonder why he wouldn't why he was like, oh, I pinched my finger. And she was like, hey, listen, I'm trying to nap. I've been on the toilet all day. I don't see why he wouldn't immediately be like, oh shit, you're right. I'm sorry. And no one's on Am I the Asshole? Nobody's on Reddit. Like,
right.
He just dug his heels in even more, which seems unnecessary.
Yeah, it seems like she's also frustrated. Now I see the point where she seems frustrated, probably that his pain is always grandiose, right? And her pain doesn't matter either. It's almost like they're both mad at each other. Yeah, they're both. There's no asshole.
Well, her pain is a regular thing. And I mean, look, who wants to talk about shitting their brains out? I don't tell my girlfriend when I shit my brains out. I just clutch my booty and then suffer alone. There's no point. I mean, fine, all of that's possible. But like, look at the story. I jump out of bed and find my husband clutching his hand. I asked what happened, and he told me he pinched his finger in the baby gate. I looked at it, and it, quote, wasn't even red, no broken skin. It's like, that's not how pain works, okay? I got my finger stuck in the refrigerator, and it was so painful, I didn't scream. I had a rare moment of manliness. There was no mark, and then 2 days later, a fat bruise appeared in the middle of my fingernail. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. She's trying to act like he didn't feel anything.
Yeah. I mean, I also think it's ironic that you're like, oh, you can't control your response to stubbing your toe, but I'm going to shit my brains out in silence.
Yeah.
It's like inconsistent. It's like, can we vocalize pain or not? What's cool?
Victoria D says, NTA, he emasculated himself. First, he's hysterical over a pinky squeeze, and now he's boo-hooing about your reaction to it after he woke you up with his dramatics. He sounds like a self-centered pussy. And his response about your body being made to birth that baby meds free was stupid.
Yikes.
I mean, I agree. He shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have said that, but I don't blame either of them for getting mad in the heat of the moment. Sarah B says, if his pain threshold is so low, did you ever stop to consider maybe he has a medical issue? Nope, because dun, you're the asshole. I'm not ready to go that far. top Reddit comment, Snooty Poop Tootie, a veritable writes, NTA, either he's using it as a way to get attention, most likely, or he needs to talk to his doctor about it. It is definitely not normal to have that low of a pain tolerance.
Yeah, that's where I agree with Sarah, where it is like me, when I was experiencing that, I realized I couldn't like talk to my parents or anybody else. No one's going to care anymore. I had to go to professionals to see what's up. There's obviously an underlying issue that I'm suffering from, like hitting my leg against the bedpost and I'm bruising, so easily, or you know what I mean? So like, that's where they need to have more communication. It seems like they're both resentful of each other this is just like the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't think it's just about the pinching of the pinky and her diarrhea. I mean,
yeah,
there's more to the story.
Totally.
I think this is coronavirus crankiness. This is ridiculous.
And I like the corona crankiness. Yeah, it's a real thing, by the way. I'm going through I don't know if you two are going through it. I'm going through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're all going through it.
I think we may agree on this, surprisingly. AITA for telling my husband to grow a pair. I'm actually going no assholes here. I feel like everyone's still very heated, and a couple simple apologies and this can blow over.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so scared to say sorry. It's like.
Yeah. I kind of want an update on this. I hope it blows over eventually.
No assholes here? We got it?
Sure, why not?
AITA for not telling my fiancée about a secret room in our apartment by you/secretroom-AITA. I recognize the title sounds a little ridiculous. The situation is less so. I was very fortunate to be in a position to buy an apartment straight out of college. It's a weird unit on a high floor of a weird building. Wow, weird unit and weird building. Who would have thought? But I've rented and made it really nice. One aspect of my home was created just to fulfill a childhood fantasy, a secret room. It's simple, a flush mount bookcase put in the doorway. It leads to what would otherwise be a windowless, very large closet or very small room. I made it into a cute secret lair/reading nook, but with no windows. It never got used, ended up being more long-term storage. I never told anyone about it because it was a secret room. I kind of figured at one point I'd tell my girlfriend, Emma, but I didn't want her to tell her until I had a reason to. I had finished it shortly before meeting her. I figured maybe one day if we had a kid, I could remove the bookcase and bam.
What?
Space to put in a changing table setup or a craft nook for her. Wow, craft nook, that is so white. But I largely forgot about it, except when I needed to pull something out from back there, which is rare. Fast forward to yesterday. Emma, now fiancée, has been living with me in my our apartment for 8 months. I guess it's not weird anymore. During this time, I've kept the secret room, a secret. It's not like I was thinking about it all the time. I only consciously did something. Yeah.
Real? Were you not thinking about it all the time?
Literally anytime anyone would be like, hey man, you're an asshole, I'd be like, I may be an asshole, but I'm an asshole with a secret room. It's not like I was thinking about it all the time. I only consciously did something sneaky maybe 3 times since she's moved in to get Christmas lights, a spare coffee maker, and to put away a novelty item she probably thought I threw out.
A novelty item? Okay.
Just tell us what it is then. And the reason weird. I was sneaky at those times was because, again, I didn't want to waste the surprise on Christmas lights. We've both been working from home lately, and we aren't really able to leave very often due to circumstances. And she jokingly announced we needed a new room to shake things up from her normal commute. Bedroom to living room. Oh, this is like a stupid joke. Get it? Her commute. Bedroom to living room.
You know you'd make that joke, Denny. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Please, yeah. I've made it. God damn it, you got me. So, of course, I excitedly pulled open our quote-unquote built-in bookshelf and showed her our room. And she flipped out. She's furious. She sees me keeping the secret as a major betrayal of trust, given that this is her home. She's acting like I cheated on her. I tried to explain I was waiting for a special moment, but she thinks that makes it worse. I have no idea if she's being unreasonable or if I am. AITA.
I think we need a subreddit called Am I Unreasonable? That would be good.
That's fun.
It's actually funny because I think I found this post the same day I saw another post on like relationship advice. I'm trying to find it, but I posted in like the true crime group that I'm in. But it was like this guy had a girlfriend or fiance or wife or someone who would like go into this secret room that he was never allowed to go into, and he knew that he wasn't allowed to go in. and he didn't know why, and he didn't know what the room was for, but he had started noticing a weird smell. So this was the point at which he turned to Reddit. And I found this post on the same day, and I'm like, what if it's the same couple and this is a murder room? Anyway.
Well, let's hope it is a murder room. I think of all the things to hide from a spouse, additional square footage is pretty innocent.
It is innocent, but I'm just like, why would you? I don't know. I'm like, it's not an engagement ring. Like, why do you need to wait for a special moment? Like, couldn't you just mention it at some point?
Yeah, I think the withholding is a little weird. But I don't really think it's like that. I mean, it's kind of a fun thing. It didn't really seem like he was waiting for a special moment, so it could have been like a big moment. I mean, do you see anything in the trust violation here? I'm trying to see her side.
I do. I just think, or maybe I'm sensitive, but I just think having a secret room is never okay unless you were, I'm sorry to say this, unless you were Anne Frank in the Holocaust and it wasn't a secret room.
Guys.
Sorry. We had no choice. But I'm like, for lack of better, like there is no, like, it's like me saying to my parents, I have a secret room. First of all, that'd be never allowed, or any roommate. Like, how do you hide something? I do agree with our other roommate where it's like the betrayal of the trust. She might be going too far with it. Like if Sarah told me this, I'd be like, okay, fine, I'm over it. I wouldn't like linger and be like, I can't believe you hurt me, Sarah. But like, I do think there is a little bit of like, Sarah, why wouldn't you tell me if we're living together about this room? And like, how did I not even know about it? Like, how the fuck is it a secret if like we live in a studio? I don't know.
It's definitely weird. It's like weird to hide it because
that's very sociopathic behavior.
She lives there. She's been there for 8 months. And it's like, you really never mentioned this in 8 entire months? But like, that's the part.
Honestly, what comes to my mind, I think you're on point, is that I kind of want to know the rent situation. Like if she's his tenant and like she pays less of the rent than him or something like that, I'd be like, that's okay because you're the landlord and it's your apartment. You have a secret room, you have a secret room. But if they split that thing down the middle, right, and she doesn't get to know about the secret room, she's being ripped off. Now I'm pissed.
That's part of it too. I also can see the emotional side of like, this is something that like, theoretically, I could be encountering every single day for 8 months and you didn't ever mention it. And like, what else could you be hiding? I think is really just the question. Is not like, it's not the room, it's what the room could imply.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. A fiancé, you should have everything out in the open. I mean, what the fuck is this?
And
this is like having a second family, really. You might as well. You could put a second family in there. A tiny family. A tiny family.
I mean, I would leave the person for this because I would just, like Sarah said, I think it's like a bigger metaphor for like, what else are you hiding from me and what else will you hide from me if I can't even see it within my own space? That's scary.
I think it's...
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I don't even want to say I said before, it sounds like sociopathic behavior. The only reason I threw that term around is because statistically it says that, if you have these secret stuff or it's a psychological thing. So it's also more like, what else is going on there? Why did you feel the need to hide that? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think it should be a deal breaker that she instantly breaks up with him, but I think Sarah hit the nail on the head there. This is like a huge red flag in the trust.
Mm-hmm. Especially because it's the way he's painting it is like, it's for a it's for a very dumb, low stakes reason that he kept this a secret,
Yeah. It wasn't even right. It wasn't even for like a good reason.
Right. You just did it for like the fun.
I could see it being totally trivial, but I think she has a right and he has to understand that she has a right to be hurt, a right to feel violated, a right to feel that their trust is seriously messed up. And he has to treat it like it's as serious as she feels it is. Because it is serious, even if all this was to him was a stupid thing he was saving up.
Right. And he has to earn it, but he should earn it back. Like an apology is warranted, I think. Like, hey, I'm sorry. This was just a joke to me, or this, I didn't think it was going to be as bad. Like, I hope you can forgive me and let me know what I could do to earn back your trust, if it really matters,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sarah M says, when there's a secret room a woman doesn't know about, we usually end up locked in it, and that's typically where we die. Of course she's furious, you weird motherfucker.
I wouldn't even go that far, but...
Well, it's the true crime thing, right? It's like why have a secret room? It either leads to murder or kidnapping.
Listen, like if you think your actual fiance is like hiding a secret room to lock you in it later, like girl, just leave. You know, you have bigger fish to fry.
Right. Yeah.
We actually have a secret room in my house. A poor family lives down there. Siobhan S.
As long as it's for the good, you're doing a good deed, then it's all good.
Exactly. I try to tell people the parks are the protagonists. They don't hear me. Siobhan S. writes, I think the fact that she has been living there and you never told her is kind of creepy. You could be a serial killer and she wouldn't have known you had a dungeon in the house, LOL. I don't know if it flies as a dungeon because aren't they on like a high floor or like something, did he say?
I guess it could be like an attic dungeon.
It's an attic
Doesn't
dungeon.
work.
Michelle L says, NTA, I'd be excited if my husband showed me we had an extra room, LOL. It's cute you call it a lair. Too many real things to be upset about these days. Yeah, like stubbing your toe and screaming.
Right? I mean it's just so weird.
Bit, but I think it is heavy. I just think that it's kind of like, because it's kind of like not declaring that you have property or something like that. Like it is good news, but I would be like, damn, that's weird. You didn't tell me about your second house. Like it's just a room, but.
Right. And he also said he was like, I don't know, he'd finished it before he met her. So it wasn't even like, oh, this was a closet when I met you. Like, He had so many opportunities to just mention it offhand. Like he said secret room 1,600 times in this post and he couldn't have said it once in his relationship.
Right. Yeah, that's weird to me too. Like what's the big deal? Why not just talk about it? Like if you have nothing to hide,
True. Top Reddit comment, AM Penguin, NTA, it's a closet, not another woman. Okay.
Oh, please. Another closet, another woman. It's all the same shit.
Well, that's just like
it's just a metaphor for another woman.
That's like the same level of stupidity as like my house, my rules. It's like, okay, so what? So the only thing you could do wrong in a relationship is be with another woman? It's completely ridiculous.
Right. People are like, you're allowed to live your life and make up these arbitrary rules, but like people are also allowed to feel some type of way about it.
They are, and her feelings are valid. I don't really think this is an asshole move from everything I know about about this OP, excuse me, because I could try to paint a picture where he's like manipulating the shit out of her and whatever, and that's possible. It's always possible, but I see this as basically something innocent he was trying to do that was kind of messed up, but he didn't mean it. So I think on this one, I'm leaning towards no assholes here. Where are we?
I'm going to go with a gentle YTA because he was sneaking around to waste some like dumb surprise that was unplanned for no reason. And like, he just played it wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with, is it wrong if I say he's the asshole?
No.
You're saying YTA?
Yeah.
All right, guess we're drawing on that. Now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, listener submissions. AITA, for hating weird colored hair. Obviously, no one is an asshole for finding something unattractive. With men, that may mean that a woman is asymmetrical. With women, it may be that a man is bald or short or poor.
Wow.
Whatever, you get it. I think where I may cross into asshole town is that I not only find such hair colors unattractive, I tend to think anyone who gets them is stupid and desperate for attention. I guess I understand rationally that someone who isn't crazy or obsessed with cheap attention could get such a hair color, but I can't seem to shake the association. Whenever I see someone with these hair colors, I just think, yikes, that idiot looks terrible. It also seems a bit unfair because women seem to more frequently indulge in such colors, so maybe it's sexist too. AITA.
Oh, God.
I'm about to go Coco Loco on this one.
Please do.
So, Sarah, I change my hair color every mother effing season. And look, do I like attention? Yeah. Who motherfucking doesn't? Give me a break. Do I want it? Do I do it because I want it and I seek it? No. I do it for my own mental health involvement. I do it for my own way of being confident, for my own way to feel unique and good about myself for all the times I felt bad about myself. I think when people like her say stuff like that about people who change their hair color and that it's stupid, I think they're projecting that they want to do it, but they don't have the balls to. And so they're taking it out on others. So what if someone wants attention or wants to find themselves through changing their hair color? I don't think you should be mean about it. I don't know. This is speaking from experience. Sarah, do you think that I demand attention every time I come into a room just because I changed my hair color? I don't think so.
No. Definitely
Go
not.
under the radar, right?
No, I mean, what really got me was he's like, people find unattractive traits with men. Like I love that he framed it as if the only thing that men could find unattractive about women is that they're asymmetrical, like that there's not this entire societal system of beauty standards that are based off of petty ass shit that men come up with. She's too fat. Her lips are too thin. Her hair is too frizzy. Like, you have cellulite, this, that, and the other. Like, everyone does it. You don't get to come in here like men are the more rational, like, what's the word? Evolved beings, and women are shallow. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, well, hold on a second. No, I completely disagree with what you just said. Asymmetry is shallow. That's a shallow reason.
But he makes it sound like it's like scientific and like based in something other than just, and like, but the women's reason for not liking men is like, oh, you're bald, you're short.
Well, bald or short, those are similar to asymmetry. Now, poor is mean. Poor is mean because poor makes it seem like women are about getting money. So I'll give you that part for sure.
But also, changing hair color doesn't always mean superficiality or it sometimes means more than that. Like someone is changing their look or maybe I'm reading too much into it, but you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean they're like demanding physical attention necessarily.
I mean, I feel like though, so you don't want, when you get your hair color changed, you never have the thought like, I hope someone compliments this or mentions this.
Never. Sarah, you can witness because you know me, right? Like I always do more for evolving mental health. Like for me, when I chop my hair, it's because I'm going through a lot of shit and darkness in my life. And to me, it's a weight off my shoulder. Like I always like to see things deeper, maybe because like I like to be like all philosophical, or like when I change my hair color from brown to silver, it's a way for me to say, I'm facing my fears. I need to be confident. If I can face it like this, if I can be in a room with my silver hair and you and Sarah can hang out with me and love me for who I am, then I've conquered life. Like I don't need approval from, it's a no approval thing. He's seeing it more of like a superficial thing. I'm not saying, oh, I'm going to get my hair silver. Now every guy's going to love me and want me. And like, that's not going through my head because no guy's going to like me with brown hair or silver hair. It's more about like, loving myself. You know what I mean? Like,
but it is kind of about rebellion is what you're saying.
It is but rebellion, part of being rebellious is finding yourself. No,
absolutely.
Like,
no, absolutely.
From your mistakes and learning what works and what doesn't.
I have the same kind of, I agree in the same core point as Chanel, but I actually like my reasoning for it is different. Like I kind of feel like for some people it is very deep. And then for other people, it is just not very deep. And it's like, you like the way you look with this hair color. I personally think I look good in X hair color and like, I'm doing it for myself. So I think it can be like, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that someone's going to do any sort of aesthetic like modification.
Yeah.
You don't do this though, Sarah. I've never seen you with no weird hair.
No, but Sarah does it with her fashion, like, right? You play with your clothes.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have 2 nose rings. I, like, wear different stuff, like, just because, like, I like it.
Nose ring.
You wear different hairstyles. Okay. Like, she'll wear pigtails. She'll wear, like, cool, like, what she's feeling that day, right?
I just, like, wear what I like that I think, like, looks good and that makes me feel good. So it's, like, I don't know. It's not super serious. I do get my hair, like, lightened sometimes.
Yeah, I think I take it sometimes too serious. Like that's why no one should.
No, it's not. It's not bad to like have it mean something deeper to you. It doesn't always, but sometimes it can.
Yeah.
Alejandra A writes, NTA, you can have your own opinions. Just an FYI, people like what they like, and they're absolutely able to get their hair done and know there will be judgment from other people. You'd be the asshole if you spoke on it loudly. Keep the negativity to yourself and let them be happy with their decisions.
Agreed.
Yeah, just like let people enjoy things. Yeah, also, I feel like I've never done anything because I want random attention from strangers I don't know.
Right.
Well, but what if you want, well, if not strangers, you don't want to get catcalled, but you might want some guy you meet at a bar to like it or whatever, your coworker or whatever, someone you casually know to attract them.
I wouldn't change myself to attract another person.
Give me a break, Sarah. You won't put on your Sunday's best on a date you're excited about?
Yeah, that's not like I'm going to go dye my hair a semi-permanent color just in the off chance my coworker might think I'm cuter that way.
And by
Low
the way,
chance.
us women know that changing our hair color is not going to attract the guy. It's obviously when we stay safe, and that's the whole thing. It's like sometimes when it does mean deeper, it's like you're not asking for the attention. You're actually going through something. Because most girls will just keep their hair like simple color if they want to attract the guy they like. Because we know that guys don't like complications or
Man simple, man blonde, man brown,
yes,
man like
brown
hair. Cameron M says, is anyone else bothered about how he described men's idea of what is unattractive and then women's? Why is the women's idea so petty, but the man's is made to seem scientific by referring to asymmetry, a deep-rooted instinctual trait? This guy sounds like a mega douche to me.
Yeah.
Danielle C, NTA for not liking it, but YTA for presuming that people who color their hair are all the same. I've had blue, pink, purple, multicolored. We haven't even talked about the multicolored gals. Blonde, brown, red, and I'm not stupid or looking for attention. The kids I used to teach loved it, and quite frankly, it's fun. That's pretty fair.
I feel that. Also, I'm not going to lie. I have been considering dyeing my hair because I'm fucking bored.
So what color?
I was thinking like a pink or like a purple, like a light purple.
You would look really
Sarah,
good in
please
that color.
don't.
You would look good in pink.
Sarah.
Danny, did you write this post?
I did write this post.
I knew it!
Oh my god. I did.
I fucking knew it.
Please don't dye your hair, Sarah. I love your hair. Don't change
God forbid you are unattracted to me. What will I do?
I didn't say anything about attraction.
Pull it off for sure. You would be able to see, like, I also think that, like, I mean, Danny, would you get mad if your girlfriend right now dyed it? Would you think she's looking for attention from you or in general, or would you support
if
it?
my girlfriend dyed her hair like a blue or a pink or a green, yeah, I would be extremely mad. There is 0% chance of it. The chances of
She
me
like never
hair,
could, I feel like. Well, now that she's working from home, but
yeah, I mean, because of her job, she's a serious professional. She could not dye her hair. But, like, if I dyed my hair blue, I'm pretty sure, I don't think we'd break up, but, like, I think she'd make me live somewhere else for, like, a month.
How could you judge? Like, can't you be still a respectful lawyer or entrepreneur or professional, even with the, like, why does that stigma stay, you know, with the, you know, if I dye my hair blue, I'm not going to be taken as seriously, or I would.
I think I like that point a lot. You know, I think entrepreneur, not so much. But when I think about doctor, lawyer, there frankly are certain professions where I think some of these rules should be preserved. I think doctor comes to mind. Like, I don't want my doctor to have a face tattoo. I just don't. That makes me a bigot. I'm a bigot. But I don't want to see that shit. I don't want my doctor to have green hair. I want, because here's what it is.
But what if he's a better doctor than the guy who has brown hair?
Because you know what I want my doctor to do in his free time? Read doctor books.
Oh
I want my doctor. I want my lawyer. I want all these motherfuckers who do serious shit to be boring as fuck.
Oh
I want them to be interesting.
Danny, I
know
need
getting mad
to
right
tell
now.
you about lawyers. Oh my God. Should we tell him?
Well, I live with the lawyer.
I know. Should we tell him that they do a lot of drugs? Should we tell you that my friend who was in med school partied harder than I did when I just had like a job making memes?
No, of course. They're animals. All these people, finance people are animals. Of course, they're doing all the hard drugs. But I'm just saying on the job, when I'm seeing you in a professional capacity, I don't want to see none of that shit.
Right. The immediate judgment, which is sad because that's what society has like made it seem like doctors should be in a, you know, clean uniform or clean cut, simple. Meanwhile, somebody with like silver hair but looks hip could be the better doctor. That's all I'm saying. Or the better lawyer. Or
you're 100% right.
Better girlfriend.
And there was a great comment, and it was a great comment that somebody left. I'm going to pull it up here because I think you are right. Even though I do have that preference, I recognize that you should always be aware of the preference. You should be aware of what it ultimately is, which is a prejudice. You know, it is. Yeah. I prejudge. I don't want that to enter the picture. I think that's part of it, right? There's that word clinical, right? Clinical, sterile. That's kind of what I want for my doctor. But you are right. There's nothing wrong with having blue hair. And it doesn't mean he failed med school because he has blue hair. That's ridiculous.
Or maybe he read like 10 books within those 5 hours and then he had 2 hours to
dye his hair.
Dye his hair. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
It's like, you know, like that's all I'm saying. I mean, I guess maybe I'm also projecting because I'm speaking a lot from experience where like I've been pigeonholed or like typecasted or not got the job because of my color hair. I took a chance, and it's like, what if I was great for the job? more than the girl with the brown hair next door. You know, it just.
It is true, and I mean, and like I said, I think it really does depend on the job. But like, you know, in today's Instagram society, in a world where Too Hot to Handle is on Netflix,
oh god,
I do think there is a place in our country, and this is a bit of a conservative thing to say, but I'll say it, for decorum. And I think that ridiculous hair colors, ridiculous is the wrong word, out of the ordinary. And that is really what I'm saying.
Word, out of the ordinary. Nice.
Thank you. Good. Let's use ordinary. The reason I don't want my doctor to have extraordinary hair, which is a very positive word, is because I don't want them to be extraordinary in that way, because that distracts from their professionalism and their decorum as a boring ass guy who wears a stethoscope and goes, "No, Danny, you do not have COVID-19. You haven't left your house in over a month. Why are you here?"
That's a good point, though. But if your doctor had green hair and he said that, you might be having trauma.
I'd be like, "Yeah, thanks, doc. By the way, you want to go hit the Jewel outside after this?" And he's like, "Fuck yeah, dog. You know, we'll do it. We'll have a good time." I'm not a bigot. I'm going to hang out with them, but that's just not ideal.
Right. No, there's different points, but the way I guess this guy's using it in the context is kind of like judgmental because he's using it in a physical, like.
I mean, the thing is, if you're gonna judge a random person you see on the street for having blue hair, like you don't know anything about them, you don't know what they do for a living. Presumably, if they have it, they've thought it through, and it's appropriate for them in their professional setting.
Absolutely.
So, like.
I don't deny it. And Maricela G put it beautifully. She said, NTA for not liking bolder hair colors on people in general, but definitely an A for making baseless assumptions about people based on their hair color. Like literally, your way of thinking is the textbook definition of prejudice. And I thought that was a really poignant way to put it, because it's like, I admit it, I am prejudiced. I see this, I make these associations, but now, and I'm so happy we had this discussion, and thank you, Chanel, you didn't know that I wrote this when you said it, but thank you for outing yourself as someone who's had multiple hair colors, and I'm happy that you don't hate me.
No,
or maybe you do.
I get it. No, and I get it. I also want to make it clear with the listeners that, like, I get your side of the story, his side. I get, but I also get, I guess, and Sarah, you get me because you know me best, of like, I'm not, definitely from my experience, I'm not seeking attention. I've gone through a lot, and it was a way for me to cope. Kind of like how cutters, I mean, maybe I shouldn't bring that analogy up, but just when you want to find yourself.
I think that's a good analogy because look, right now a lot of us are coping and they're coping mechanisms, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with coloring your hair as a coping mechanism if that's what it happens to be for some people. The reason cutting is bad is because you're cutting yourself.
Right, exactly.
That hurts. It hurts almost as bad as pinching yourself with a kid game.
We're not encouraging that. Yeah, exactly. Like, to do the hair color, but also what I think my biggest pet peeve with this guy is when it comes to women, when men say, like, I don't want to date a girl with like this color hair, because a lot of it, what they're saying is, I'm intimidated by that woman, or she was bold enough to do that, and that's not like for me. Or they're projecting their own insecurity because they really want to do it and they can't because they've been, I don't know, suppressed somehow. Maybe
right.
Crazy.
Or they're afraid. Just simple fear. They are afraid of how they'll be judged. And I like that you said bold, because going back to the entrepreneur, if for instance I was someone who invested in entrepreneurs and one of these entrepreneurs had a bold hair color, I'd be like, great, that's who I want to be an entrepreneur, a bold motherfucker who has silver ass hair.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe now you would, now that we've enlightened you.
Now that I've been enlightened.
But pre-enlightenment, you would have been like, I don't want to invest my money in this crazy person who's obsessed with cheap attention.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Silverhair. You won't be getting my $15.
Yeah.
AITA for hating weird colored hair. I think we agree. YTA, you guys are going to skewer me?
YTA, and next episode we'll talk about your thing with tattoos.
Oh boy, that's
a
whole.
he's in this situation. He's a YTA.
I'm a YTA. Well, we're gonna just wrap up with a quick little segment I thought of today. I thought this could be fun. I asked the Facebook group to tell us about some Zoom or group chat or social media a-holes they've encountered during the Corona times. Elise Y writes, people who don't mute their Zoom line and then have a side convo with someone in their apartment who isn't part of the call.
Who does that? Monster.
I know. Biggest pet peeve. I agree.
Today I was on a work call someone's girlfriend, I think they didn't realize that they weren't muted. They weren't doing anything wrong, but their girlfriend was in their apartment going on and on. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't listened for so long. Our company is selling clothes. You know,
oh my God, but did you get the tea? That's interesting. What if you found out something juicy?
I know, right? All right, Sarah, I need your help. Translate that meme there. Get the tea is now a thing. Get the tea. Is that the phrase?
Yeah. Oh, wait, are you being serious? I thought you were mocking me.
I'm not.
It just means like, get the dirt, find out the gossip.
And it's just TEA, like tea.
Yeah. Because like you can spill the tea, which means you're like saying the gossip, which means that I guess you can also find out the tea.
Also, who's ever gossiped over tea? Can we be real here?
Exactly.
Like, have I ever made a tea and said, "Oh, let me talk to Sarah right now and let's gossip over tea"? When have I ever FaceTime and been like, "Let's"?
Never.
We gotta call it. Let's get the tequila sodas because that's when the shit starts spilling.
Yeah.
I personally like my phrase. Other people use it too, but it's "give me the juice," and I like the juice.
I like juice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You can't just get the juice, right? How do you get the juice? You have to squeeze.
Nice.
I'm into it.
I like that. That's
Kristen writes, colleagues who are still in their really revealing PJs. That's going on Zoom. Huh?
That's that sounds like someone you have a personal problem with.
Wait, that sounds like the reporter. Did you guys see that news story with the reporter from Good Morning America who didn't know he was get his whole full body shot and he wasn't wearing pants? He was just wearing his suit.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's incredible.
But like also, why does that bother people when people go on with it? Like for me, if you two were right now on with your pajamas and a total mess, it wouldn't bother me. I
wouldn't be bothered.
I don't get it.
But she's saying revealing pajamas, so I'm like, what if someone like, if you go to sleep in a tank top, like your titties out, like
would that bother you though? It wouldn't bother me.
On a Zoom work call, you got to keep the tits in.
Okay, yeah, I know, but it's still, I guess I wouldn't take it too much to like, oh my God, this shit. I'd be like, yo, your tits out. You maybe if you're
whatever.
Georgie D writes, I crash Zooms with Goggles the Lamb, and then he posted a picture. So Goggles the Lamb, I didn't do a lot of research. I'm going by the picture, but it appears to be a fucking cute lamb. Aww. And the special thing, and presumably the name Goggles comes from the fact that it has two black spots over its eyes, so it looks like it's wearing goggles. It's adorable. I mean, Google Goggles the Lamb.
Okay.
Great.
Google Goggles.
Google Goggle. Judy D says, during my class, my teacher unmuted all of us and reminded us to remute when not talking. This one student put his phone next to the computer and we constantly heard his text dinging. Oh, I hate that.
I hate that. That just happened to me on a work call. I hate that. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Kevin H writes, people with birds. And I was like, okay, I guess I could handle that. I mean, I've personally never run into that. Then Jenna Ciro, elaborate. What a hero. Kevin H. Kevin Hendricks, by the way, has been on the podcast. He's been on Jeopardy. He's a huge fan.
He's been everywhere.
He's been everywhere. Right. The super high-pitched and loud blasts of chirping come through real nasty on the phone. It's like having to work with a dying smoke detector strapped to your head.
Again, this sounds like someone you have personal problems with, Kevin.
Yeah, it's like, guys, this isn't a Zoom problem. This is a problem with Gary. Yeah. Stop calling Gary.
Yeah, make him mute. Just mute him.
Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. I mean, it's not often I get to hang out with one Jew, let alone two. Chanel, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for doing. I'm honored. I love your podcast. You both are amazing. You're awesome human beings in real life. You're awesome hosts. I never miss an episode. You've been helping me through quarantine, so thank you. This has been an honor to join you guys. I really feel honored. Right, Sarah? You know how I've been begging Sarah to be on for so long. I'm so honored that you guys are.
Tell everyone like where we can find you or where they can listen to you, all that good stuff.
Sure. You guys can follow me at Chanel Omari and at Chanel for at Chanel in the City updates. I know I'm the loser that didn't get at Chanel in the City fully, so it's at Chanel in the. Welcome to my asshole life. And also check out my podcast, Chanel in the City, on all podcast platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and iTunes and radio.com. And check out my new podcast with Dina Lohan called Listen to Me, the OG Mama D, which will be airing the third week of May, hopefully on Spotify and iTunes.
Dina Lohan, the one and only. Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be a trip. That's
wait, who is that?
Lindsay Lohan's mom.
No.
Yes.
No, we should have talked about this at the top of the episode. We fucked up.